JP's podcast. I'm your host, Dr. JP, and today we will talk about what is spiritual progress anyway. Welcome to my podcast, or I guess this is a video cast, but for some reason in YouTube it's called a podcast. Whatever. My name is Dr. JP, and today we will talk about what is spiritual progress. Progress with air quotations, in the sense that in nondual spirituality there is little notions of progress per se. There is just this as it is, and well, in this as it is, there are different variations of this, one of which is progress, is evolution, which is, again, not often talked about in non-dual spirituality. However, in this very short episode, I will try my best to decipher an idea that, again, came to me as I was walking my dog this morning. It seems to me that the environment where I live is very conducive to ideas. We live on a very small island here on the western coast of Finland, Scandinavia, which is, it makes for a very peaceful, serene surroundings, I'd say. We have about 900 people living here on this island. It's connected by a bridge to the mainland, but it'll take about 30 minutes to drive to the nearest town from here. And in the woods around our house, there are woods, and then there's the ocean. So to walk to the ocean shore from our house, it takes about a minute, 2 minutes if you're lazy, and I am, so it'll take about 2 minutes to walk to the ocean shore. And there are loads of deer in the forest. And this morning, me and my dog, Hugo, we were walking, and we saw a deer. A deer was jumping. She was probably scared of us, and then she jumped away from us. And then the thought came to my mind that another person instead of me would have or might have thought that, oh, poor deer, she must be really scared. She must have a hard time living in these woods, with all natural conditions, with the rain and the heat and whatever. And then another idea might arise to this person that this deer should be saved, or something should be done about the predicament of the deer. Whereas for me, this idea, these notions do not arise. But for me, the ideas and notions regarding the deer might arise that, oh, this deer is having such a fun time. The deer is living free in the woods, and she can do whatever she pleases with her deer mind. So this led me to the idea, very basic idea, that all of us basically see a very skewed version of what is. We always see through our filtering, through our personality, through our apparatus, that is, as Ken Wilber calls it, and as I mentioned in a previous episode, we all have our so-called cosmic address. What Wilber means by it is that we have this very, we do have a view which comes from being at a certain level of our cognitive development. Then we have a certain personality type, which adds another flavor to this cosmic address, where we address reality from, so to speak. Anyways, so basically, what is spiritual progress is that let's draw a line. I'll try my best to draw a line here. Let's draw a line. So in this line, there are two places. So here is essence. Some spiritual teachers like Gurdjieff used to call it, we have two basic modes of being, essence and personality. And on this line, we can be, at a certain point on this line, either closer to our essence or either closer to our personality. So in this sense, there is indeed spiritual progress. The closer we are to our essence, the more progressed, so to speak, we are to our spirituality. And let's define spirituality in a minute. The closer we are to personality, our skewed way of seeing reality, the further we are from our essence, and thus, less spiritually evolved we are. So now defining spirituality. Well, spirituality is notoriously difficult to define. I know that because in my PhD, which I did on the spiritual philosopher Ken Wilber in the study of religion in 2020, I had to, of course, try and define spirituality as I did the thesis on Ken Wilber as a spiritual innovator. So when you look at any textbook on the study of religion, you basically do not find a single definition of spirituality. Ken Wilber uses loads of definitions, all of which I think are really solid for spirituality, but let's just, me and you define it here. So I would define spirituality as an open-ended interest in the phenomenology of being human. And the opposite of that, we can take that again. So it's an open-ended curiosity on the phenomenology of being a human. And the opposite of that is sureness. Sureness, which, as Fred Davis, the spiritual teacher, calls it, the death of spirituality. Sureness of what is a human being. Sureness. So I'm sure that I'm a person. I'm sure that I have this name, and this name actually points towards something that is real and solid, as emancipatory spiritual philosophers all the way back from Parmenides to David Hume know that it's a very questionable notion. Anyway, an open-ended curiosity to this raw phenomenological experience of being human means that we do not take anything for granted. But when we are very close to our personality, it means that we take everything we see, feel, and think about reality. A deer running in a forest, which produces a sense of pity, a sense of something is wrong, a sense of something is right, something is fun, something is not fun. That is when our personality gives an interpretation to what is. And the more we do that in so-called earth time, the more time we spend here interpreting reality from this place, from personality, the further we are from essence. And that is basically a very, very crude definition of spiritual progress or lack thereof. Again, what is essence? Gurdjieff did not define it actually that much. But if we use the notion of types, typologies like the Enneagram, for example, we could say, and A.H. Almaas has a really, really good book on this topic. It's called Facets of Unity from 1998, I think. And a new version or a shorter version of that book is called Keys to the Enneagram. But I really recommend Facets of Unity, where he suggests that, as everybody who's into the Enneagram knows, that these 9 personality types are basically ways of not seeing reality as it is, but basically defense mechanisms that we've had to acquire to cope with the screwed up world that we all grow into when we're kids. And Almaas offers in the book Facets of Unity, he offers that basically we have 9 facets of unity, 9 ways of non-dual realization as they are filtered through the prism of these human being consciousnesses. And then if we combine it with that, we can see that, okay, more time we spend here in our essence, as it is filtered through our particular constellation, our particular cosmic address, the closer we are to what can be called spiritual progress or spiritual flowering or spiritual flourishing. So spirituality being, by our definition here, an open-ended curiosity towards the phenomenological experience of being human, is always filtered through these units, as Fred Davis calls us. These units, and each of these units has a different cosmic address. And these cosmic addresses can be on a spiritual scale closer to personality or closer to essence. Some might say this is, a state shift, or a sliding scale of spiritual states or states of consciousness, and we can call it that as well. When we're really close to our personality, we are very close to what can be called the growth state, and as we slide away from that, we get closer to a more subtle state, a causal state, and a non-dual state. But again, we should remember that on the other end of the scale, closer we are to essence, this non-dual state is always filtered through these units. And that's what gives, I'd say, a sense to this existence, a meaning to this existence, a flowering to this existence as being human. Because we have the unique ability to just see what is, but then give it this very particular essence quality, this very particular essence flourishing, so to speak. So these essence qualities on the other end of the scale are personal qualities, which are always skewed filters for reality. And on the other end of the scale, when we're closer to essence, they give this unique flavor. They're like salt and curry and pepper and sugar and different. They do have different tastes. And Almas is really, really skilled at defining these tangible, almost physical qualities, these textures in these essence qualities. Anyways, this is it for today. What is spiritual progress? Being closer to our essence and being very unknowing about what it is that this is. And with my type, with my cosmic address, I think this is fun. This is fun, really fun. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye.